Have you considered, for just 1 minute, that EA might be doing this on purpose? Hello everybody, Ricky here, welcome to my channel, and it was recently established that it's the 25th anniversary of The Sims, the entire Sims series, and EA decided to announce, to celebrate it, they were going to offer the game purchasable on Steam, which is is sort of a first for that sort of thing, because it was barely maybe 8 to almost a decade ago that EA took down The Sims 1 and 2 from Origin, which is now EA Play. Of course, when this was announced, I think on a Sims presentation back early on in the start of the year, of course, a lot of people in the Sims community were excited. As a person who considers himself a part of the Sims community, I'm not really hands-on with it. I'm not into too many blogs and such. I'm not into too many forums and that sort of alike. But I consider myself a Sims fan. And initially when I heard that, I wasn't too excited about it personally, because I have over time just built a very huge distrust when it comes to Electronic Arts as a game company, especially with The Sims 4. I've made it a point on this channel, at least in the past, that I don't go anywhere near The Sims 4. I haven't even bothered to pirate it. That is like the extent of how much I just despise this. I wouldn't say I despise, but I definitely detest the existence of The Sims 4, and the fact that I just feel as though EA is just milking that game dry, and the fact that initially it was announced that there was going to be a sequel to the game that's now been cancelled. There's going to be a possible Sims 5, which has now been cancelled, but they're trying again with I don't know if it's Project Rainy. I think Project Rain. I can't remember what project codename it's called, but EA are now once again dabbling in a multiplayer game. Not the first time they've done that. The Sims Online existed as a thing, and there was actually an announcement just last year, in fact, that a fan sort of recreation of the server for The Sims Online by the name of Friezo was recently shut down. Not to do with EA, it was just the choice of the owner of the servers and stuff, but that was a thing that happened. But yeah, the Sims Online was a thing that existed, and of course EA shut that down around, I think it was 2008 or something, I'm not too sure. And if you don't actually know this little bit of trivia, The Sims 4 is actually built on top of what was supposed to be a multiplayer game of The Sims. That was a thing that happened, and because of the absolute just bomb that was effectively the SimCity 2013, in fact, the Sims team decided they were going to take the code for this multiplayer Sims game, retool it, and it became The Sims 4. That would probably explain why, to date, there are still a lot of limitations with that game, because that codebase that The Sims 4 is built on top of wasn't even built for a proper Sims game. If you don't know this, look it up. It is true, but if you're in the Sims community, you probably already know this. So, when it was announced just recently that Electronic Arts were going to be re-releasing the game for public download, my distrust of EA has just gotten that bad that I didn't even trust that it was going to be good. And apparently, I'm right. I didn't really make my opinion known. I've made my opinion known to friends and such. I just didn't trust it. Admittedly, I own a disc copy of The Sims 2, and I own a very interesting version of The Sims 1, 2, and 3 that I got from a certain kind of website. I'm not going to tell you what that website is, because I don't want that website getting in trouble. I don't want EA chasing it up or that sort of stuff, but yeah, I have all 3 copies of that. I've also a disc copy of The Sims 2 and 3, and that seems to have worked fine. But I've recently been looking up some stuff, and I've actually got the Steam page open for The Sims 2, because they're selling it now. Hang on, if I just flip over to this screen right here. Yep, so here we are. So here we are on the purchase screen, right, The Sims 25. I really despise that bloody logo. That is an ugly design for a logo, I swear to God. It's so corporate. But this is The Sims 2 Legacy Collection. You can buy it as part of a bundle. So buy the Sims 25th anniversary bundle, you get The Sims 2, The Sims, and some Sims 4 packages, which as far as I'm aware, you need EA Play to play The Sims 4, so I'm just like, F no. So yeah, if you just scroll down, the game you know and love for Windows 10 and 11. I managed to get it work fine. Oh, it is. To be fair though, when you have the Ultimate Collection and a disc collection, the disc collection is a pain in the neck to install, I will say. especially because there's a lot of features within the disc version, such as a lot of disc built-in DRM and stuff, which Windows 10 has taken out. So you might have struggled in the past trying to install certain expansion packs or certain stuff packs and on your computer, and it's because those certain things are now part of the Windows registry as marked as, you know, possible virus or issue sort of thing. So sometimes when you try to install from a disk, it may come up with this saying your administrator has blocked this sort of thing. I do plan to make a tutorial in the future on how to circumvent this, but yeah, apparently this version of the game, of course, counteracts that. One problem that has been known is apparently the fact that the Ikea stuff pack for The Sims 2 is not available in this Legacy Collection. It's also not available in the Ultimate Collection, as far as I believe, as well. I do believe because of licensing problems with EA and Ikea. I don't really bother about that too much because there is ways to go around it. Effectively, all the Ikea stuff pack is literally just full of objects and stuff anyways, and there are mods out there that allow you to like download custom content that re-establish that. I think I even heard recently that there's actually a user on Tumblr who actually offers a lot of the Ikea content from the stuff pack as free custom content downloads. So there's a way around that sort of stuff. So it's not all bad. So if you want to still be able to play The Sims Legacy Collection or Ultimate Collection, there's ways around that. It doesn't really break the game too much that you don't have the IKEA stuff. Even if whether you like it or not, that's neither here nor there. Oh boy, I'm just going to scroll down because the last time I checked, it was very, very, very to say that the reviews are mixed on this listing is a part of an understatement. But let's see about it's still mixed, and now it's like all the top results are red. Not recommended, not recommended, not recommended. Product refunded. 2 hours on record, 3rd of February. So this is actually very recent. This is literally just almost a week ago. Some of these comments have come out that, oh god, this is actually more than I've seen it. There was a time where most of these were green, and you actually had to actually sort from worst to good. But this is this is interesting. We're going to take a look at some of these some of these comments actually. So not recommended, and it's by Dane Ann. I do apologise if I'm mispronouncing your name, but it says right here, love the game, but I cannot recommend it until they fix crashes and other bugs. And to all the people that say you can fix yourself, if that's normal, no game to crash to have bugs. No, the whole point of buying re-release version is to run it on Windows 10 11 without any problems. Yeah, if you're buying this and you still need to install mods and stuff to actually get this game to run, that is a very bad purchase. Do not argue for that. That is really, really bad. Refund the game. That is something that if it was any other product, that's one thing that I really hate about modern gaming stuff. If it's any other product, if you needed to buy additional products to make the main product that you purchase at least mostly functioning, you'd be wanting to send that back, and you'd probably even be going as far as to sue the company that you bought this item from. But when it comes to video games, for whatever reason, people are just like, oh hey, we'll still fix these, get it to work, that sort of thing. Who cares? I have a word in my mind that I don't want to say out loud, but I really was that close to saying out loud as an outburst right there, because this sort of thing really grinds my gears. And this person's Dragon Can says it here, not recommended, product refunded, which is what I recommend everyone to do. To stick it to bloody EA. I have refunded the game after 2 hours of trying to play, as in those 2 hours the game crashed 5 times. So he says right here, game is unstable. Well, it needs to install patches to make it stable. The game has crashed 5 times. Here's the thing that I was actually talking to a friend about this issue earlier on. It has been established that The Sims 2 is probably one of the more well-built games of the entire series of The Sims. People for a little while there were saying that the game's unstable, it's this, it's broken, that sort of thing. It is not. It is actually one of the most well-polished games in the entire series. There's a lot of code in the game that, you know, circumvents a lot of potential breakages and stuff like that. Look it up. There's a YouTuber on YouTube by the name of April Black who establishes all of the so-called problems that are within the community and how they might not be as bad as people either remember or that sort of stuff. I have reinstalled the game multiple times, mostly just because I reinstalled Windows. I have never had to reinstall the game because it's broken, or because I've done something that's broken the game, or because the game just eventually just gets corrupted after like up to 2 to 9 hours. From basically what I read from previous comments on this, I could play The Sims 2 religiously for hours at a time. I've never run into problems where the game just starts working and starts breaking. I've had that issue with The Sims 3 before, but never The Sims 1 and 2. Especially not The Sims 2. You do not understand how well polished that game actually is, and people are not fair with that game whatsoever. The Sims 2 was a labour of love from Will Wright and the crew that made it at the time. But oh god, this is why I said at the start of the video, I really feel as though EA are doing this on purpose. The Sims 4 is also just as broken. There are ways just to completely break the game. The AI will stop working. There's even examples on YouTube if you look at them. There's an example, like I saw this one YouTube short where someone pauses the game. And the sim is just so it's like the player pauses the game. Sorry, I'm dribbling, but the sim pauses the game, and what's supposed to happen is that is creepy. There's just, you know, they pause the simulation and the sim is still moving. Huh? You dare pause me? But I cannot help but feel at this point that EA are doing this on purpose. How the hell can you make a game that unstable? The disc version, the Ultimate Collection version, for me, has never been broken. There's even a publicly made patch that sort of like uses the Ultimate Collection as a base. That you can install. It's on GitHub. I think it's called. Hang on, what's it called? I think it's called the Starter Pack. Yeah, here it is. The Sims 2 Starter Pack by NSIS. Hang on. Who is the actual user? American or Voice Mixel? I do apologise if I'm butchering your guys' names. I didn't actually hear that this was made by Lady Duchess, but apparently this isn't so much. But yeah, you can install this version of The Sims 2. And there's a web installer or a standalone touch-up installer, which is sort of just like a mod at this point. You have to have the base disc version and install it that way. But even this version of the game works, just with a few patches. I have managed to just get the game working with only 2 patches. The only patch I've ever had to use to get the main game working is a shadow patch, because you get that little black box sort of glitch with it. So I have managed to just install that, and the other patch was just a mod to make the game add additional layer functionality that wasn't intended in the initial game anyways. This user, Dragon Can, is complaining about the game crashing 5 freaking times. I get it's an old game and bugs will happen, but the whole point of it re-release, and yeah, here's the thing, I've said this again, I'm going to say it again. The Sims 2 was one of the most stable games in the entire franchise. So the fact that, you know, people are saying it's an old game, it's got a right to be broken, it was never broken. EA broke the bloody game re-releasing it. That is a screw up on the highest level. Okay, so here's Zelina. She says right here, I do assume that the person is she. I do apologise. I'll call them they, just out of respect. But honestly, shame on me for actually hoping the game is optimised for newer PCs and getting excited about this re-release. I didn't know you can release a 20-year-old game and game worse than it was before. She's saying that it was bad. Constant crashes, DirectX error. I've not actually seen that recently. 800 by 600 screen resolution. When it comes to the disc version, I actually know an edit you can do. to certain game files to get that to work. And it's actually a very simple fix. You just have to go into a file by the name of Graphic Rules. I think there's even a mod out there called Graphic Rules Maker that you can actually install that will actually fix that file for you in the background. But if you just go into the Graphic Rules file, it's called, I think it's an SRG file in the game's files. Scroll down to where it's got the resolution information. Just mark it up to 1920 by 1080, and the game just shows up. Sometimes not out of the box completely, but you have to, like, you know, use the game settings to actually explode the screen a little bit. Also, I run the game in windowed mode. I can get that to work, no problems asked, but it does take a little bit of a tweaking, a little bit of tinkering a little bit, but that's something I'm able to do. I do understand that people aren't really, or either aren't confident enough when it comes to that sort of thing, or just don't really want to, or don't find interest in doing that sort of thing. But it says right here, the game launches each time, and it's like the first time I ever launch it. The save game is there, but CC checkbox is unchecked. The graphic settings are back to lowest possible settings, and the tips are popping up, which is very annoying. Besides that, the quality of the voices is very bad. The Sims sound super compressed. They're using compression on the files as well. What the hell? EA, what the hell are you doing? What else? Oh yes, the bugs like disappearing food after. Whoa, that's a Sims 4 bug if I ever heard it. The Sim resetting every time they try to set the table. The broken alien abduction. Wait, that's a thing? I think I've already seen this. Hang on. I saw this today. I didn't know it was more people that had this issue. Now, I'm going to continue reading this. So the Sim resetting every time. Abduction. The Sim just walks away. Nothing happens. You've got to be bloody kidding me. Alright, so there's this YouTuber that I've recently stumbled upon by the name of Strangled Wires, who, shout out to them. They do a lot of Sims content. They're doing a lot of content exploring the old prototype for the Sims 2 on console. So check them out. A little bit of a shout towards them, but they actually made a compilation of this sort of stuff. I thought it was just one person who had this problem, but yes, the abductions are bloody broken. Take a look at this. Wait, watch. If you ever played The Sims 2, you'll know how this cutscene is supposed to work. I actually show you. This is how an abduction is supposed to work. By Romania TS. Right, so this is how the cutscene is supposed to work. So yes, that Bob character got adopted. I don't understand how this telescope didn't wasn't animated during the cutscene. It could be a modded telescope. But watch Strangled Wires version of this cutscene. Did you see that? It just cut. It just the sim just stopped. Got distracted by something else. Walks away. And life just continues in the background while this cutscene is playing. What? At all 9 hours I had him out there every night. That was the only time a UFO showed up. And the game broke. He was looking long enough for his science hobby to max, his logic nearly maxed. I thought it was just one bloody person. No. The graphic settings are unset automatically right after setting them. The list is effing huge. Waste of money. Stick to the Ultimate Collection if you got it from the EA app. Don't even get it from the EA app. Do not even get it from EA whatsoever. Fucking pirate it. I was never completely in the camp of pirating before, but when it comes to a lot of modern AAA games and stuff, fuck the companies. Like, seriously, that is literally how I feel about it. Fuck EA as well. Gizo or Gezo, I am not too sure how to pronounce the name either. I am quite bad for this, as you probably will notice. They somehow managed to introduce a bug into the game where your Sims refuse to interact with cooked food. If you cook something, it despawns as soon as they're done, and if you try to eat a meal from someone who hasn't been infected yet, your Sim just will teleport away as soon as he sits down. The only way to feed them is chips and fast food, but I'm playing this game to escape reality, not to reenact it alright. Kind of funny, but yeah, they refunded the game. Alex Zebol refunded. Terrible. Practically nothing has been fixed, and there is no proper support for modern systems. The game didn't need all that fixing, though. At least in my experience, and it didn't need all that fixing. It just needed a one-off version you could just hit install, let the Ultimate Collection, and get it off the board, get it running. You know, Bob's your uncle sort of thing. And EA messed that up. Hang on, pretty much the same Sims 2 Ultimate Collection they've given for free on Origin way back, but with cut EA Ikea pack, they have the audacity to ask this much money for 20-plus-year-old game and expansions. Honestly, it's crazy, especially considering how great a recent remasters Mass Effect and Command & Conquer were. All these Sims games would deserve a proper remaster, not whatever this is. It's not even a remaster. It's not even a remaster of this game. It's literally just taking the original game and just bundling it up with, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I've heard, a lot of the mods EA have added actually from the bloody community. They haven't even went that far. They're freaking lazy as far as just using custom content or custom mods that have been made by the community, selling it. Just pirate the game. There is versions of it out there. I just showcase. I will link this below, but you have this on GitHub, the Sims 2 starter pack. The Ultimate Collection, as far as I'm aware, is on certain sites. I think it's even on certain abandonware sites, so keep an eye on that. I do know, for example, the entire disc collection is available on certain abandonware websites. So yeah, it's a little bit more tedious if you have the disc version, a virtual version of the disc version of the list, or if you have the proper physical version of the disc version. It's a little bit more tedious to install one by one compared to the Ultimate Collection. But as far as I'm aware, the Ultimate Collection, the IKEA stuff, is just not there. But again, as I say, you can, if I remember where it is, I will probably try and link it down. But it was some user on Tumblr is offering the IKEA content as custom content you can install. So there are workarounds. Yes, it is a little bit fidgety, a little bit sort of clunky, that sort of stuff. But don't get this bloody game. Cherotical, I think. Well, they recommend it, but if you read down here it says, I wish Steam had a neutral mixed recommendation option. It does work for me, but based on our reviews, your results may vary. It is also kind of a waste of money if you already own it on PC and it works fine. I just bought it and it's less of a pain to play on my Steam Deck. Okay, they managed to get it to work on their Steam Deck, fair enough. On the sidebar right here, Tony Lasagna. Let's see these other reviews on the sidebar right here. So it says Body Shop doesn't seem to be included with this download. It's supposed to be, but searching the files, googling it where it might be hasn't helped. It's non-existent. I hope they patch this. We'll update my review if they do. So that's a no review. Tony Lasagna declines another no review. It's as rough as everyone says it is. I just wanted a solid sim experience for once, but EA can't even re-release games in a playable state. Sad times for the games industry. How the hell do you take a game like The Sims 2, which is already a fairly decently polished game, and just freaking break it? I cannot for the life of me not assume that this was not done on purpose. It must have been done on purpose, because you cannot. I have never experienced. On the Ultimate Collection, on the disc version, I have never experienced the game breaking. How? So it gets to the recommended reviews, not recommended. Let's see. So yeah, oh god, there's more. There's more. Can't recommend. Cash grab. Nothing is optimized. Not recommended. Had to get this game refunded. Unplayable right now. EA has really done themselves this time. It's almost impressive how they can screw even this up. Not recommended. Unlike people, I'm not having any crashes. Instead, the Sims are unable to eat any food. This is the Sims 2 game we loved more than a decade ago. Yes, literally no improvement whatsoever. Just a quick fix. The thing is, though, it wasn't even a case that they improved it. They just made it worse. But yeah, just take a look at the. I'll leave a link to Strangled Wire's full video down below, because she goes into additional problems that the game's having, and even they're having the same issue with the Sims resetting, food disappearing, and eventually 9 hours after playing, effectively what happens is with their experience, after 9 hours the game goes almost completely deadlocked, lag-wise. Meaning that her save file is getting corrupted. Something that, again, has never happened to me. So EA have done something in the background that have really messed up the game. What they've done, I don't even know, and this part I don't even care. As far as I'm concerned, go screw this game, go pirate it. I wouldn't have endorsed piracy before, but for this, I just like... The disc version, if you can find the disc version of the disc version or the Ultimate Collection, go find it, play it that way. I can promise you, with a little bit of tinkering with getting the game working, it'll be good as gold. That being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you found my ranting interesting. I probably just repeated what most people are talking about the game so far. I don't recommend this this version of the game whatsoever. I think it's just a pure cash grab like everyone else is saying, funnily enough. Don't get the game. If you have your own opinions on this, if you have experienced what's been going on with the game so far and that sort of stuff, let me know down below. I want to hear some more stories on this and just seeing just how bad this situation actually is. EA have said that they are releasing a patch for it. We'll see what happens with that patch, but I don't even trust it. Again, I don't trust anything. I would not... I couldn't, as I said, I can't trust EA as far as I could throw them at this point, and that's not very far. So do everything else but buy this game until EA get their butts together and actually offer a decent product that isn't just the old game from yesteryear with absolutely nothing whatsoever put onto it, and possibly, rumour has it, allegations, that sort of stuff. A lot of the stuff that EA used to get the game working are fan-made mods. You can't make this rubbish up. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Zul Zul.